Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Everyday Educate podcast. I'm joined today with Alicia Adams. Miss Adams, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Awesome. Good. Amazing. Can't complain. I'm grateful. Where are you calling from, or where are you based in?
So I am in the state of Georgia and I teach in Gwinnett County.
In which county?
Gwinnett.
Gwinnett. Nice. Awesome. Um, and I guess maybe just a little background about yourself, who you are, what you do. Would love to know you and kind of introduce you to our
Yeah,
audience.
yes, of course. So I am a first year kindergarten teacher. I graduated last May from Georgia Southwestern. That's in Americus, Georgia, kind of further south. I am currently actually getting my master's degree in education right now, and I'll be done in July. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, if you couldn't tell, normally pretty bubbly, happy personality. It fits in well with the kids with kindergarten. So yeah, that's kind of just a little just about me. And I am originally from North Carolina, but I have been in Georgia for a few couple of years now.
Amazing, awesome. So first year teacher going into kindergarten. Uh, how is that like with the kids? I'm sure it must be very fun at times. Uh, Maybe overwhelming with what is going on, how many kids, but kind of put us into your world for a second. How is kindergarten going?
Yeah. So kindergarten, I always say it's like being with the babies. Like if anybody has any pre-K experience, it's very similar to that. But I am someone that firmly believes no matter how young you are, no matter how old you are, you can still be very independent and you can still learn. So, in this classroom for me, from day one, I set a lot of different ground rules. They even kind of helped me come up with the rules the first day of school. Um, but then from there, we just have a really nice, good classroom community built within each other where we support one another, we help out one another. I always let them know it's okay to make mistakes because the little ones, they get, really upset very quick if something doesn't go right, or, if they feel like they can't do anything. And so they just need someone in their corner, like their teacher and their friends, to say, hey, it's okay. Sometimes we make mistakes. We're all learning. I even say, Miss Adams, we're learning all the time, and I may make a mistake too, and that's okay. So just kind of being there for them, having fun with them. I always get silly with them and do things in little voices. We play different games with our learning stuff. So yeah, we have a good time, and for them, I've heard a lot of them start saying, like, I just love being in school. I love being in the classroom. I love being with my friends. I love learning. And to hear kindergartners, that means that you're doing something right in the classroom to go ahead and start the foundation for them to start loving and enjoying learning.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It seems like it's funny as like when we're kids, like there's so much creativity, fun, playfulness, hanging out with friends, collaborating. We don't think about it as like school or work. I don't know what it is when it gets like further up in the grades and further up in education. I feel like that should always stay, at least to a certain degree. Not playing like the same games in kindergarten as in college, but that sense of curiosity, collaboration, friends, having fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think like so much of that I feel like is getting lost, and it's more
Yeah.
of like memorize or you have to take this test. It's like, well, why can't tests be fun? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
What are some of the like tasks or um, games or crafts that you guys do with the kindergarten kids that you can see like their eyes lighting up, or maybe they learn something or something clicks? What are some of the things that you guys do in the classroom?
Yeah, so gosh, in kindergarten, there's a lot of different ways and things that we can do to enhance their learning, but then also make it fun, like for math and skills, which is basically like their phonics time. After centers that they all go off into based off of their small groups. And so within the centers, and actually, I just so happened to just switch some out. So I have like some baggies of some. Ooh, and that's my doorbell. That's a good attention getter. It's just on my thing. But I have like little baggies of things or just little containers. And so stuff like this, they love because it's like a little game. And so this one, I don't think that's the right match, but it's a rhyming game. And so they would have to match it, but it's cute, it's appealing, and they don't even realize they're learning or like
Yeah.
reviewing, the rhyming and CVC words. I also sometimes with like letter review when in the fall when we were going through their letters and letter sounds, I have this beach ball over here in the corner that has all the different letters from upper and lowercase. And we play a game where they spread out in the room and they pass the ball. When they catch it, whatever finger that they have a letter on, they have to say the letter name and the letter sound. And if a friend happens to land on a letter that they don't know quite yet, I'll ask the class and then their classmates help them. So just little things like that, and also games that you can get at the store, like Lakeshore. They have so many learning games that the kids love to play. I've even came across some games at like TJ Maxx and Ross. They're Lucky Finds, but they have lots and lots of different ways that we can incorporate fun stuff, but still learning into our lessons and review.
Yeah, I love that. I love that a lot. Um, okay, kind of switching subjects here. I know you mentioned first year teacher. It sounds like you're very passionate. Your heart is in this, going for masters, and I wish you all the best in your education as you learn so that you can impart it to the kids. But what would you say is your mission or your calling, your purpose in education? Like, yeah,
Yeah, so for me, I've always said, because we always have to like or had to answer a question like this in our program, and family has asked me this and friends too. And I've always said that the reason why education had I just my heart pulled towards it, and I've always loved working with kids. I actually have 10 nieces and nephews, and they're my heart. I love them. But I think just being able to pour into the little ones at this age, because at this age, they're between 5 and 6, and they're turning 6 as we get to the end of the school year. But at this age, they're soaking up so much stuff. Whether it's just like simple manners, learning how to socialize with people, and then of course all the basics like ABCs, the sounds, counting just to 20 and counting to 100, learning how to open up stuff, learning how to fix their own clothes, dress themselves, some of them, cleaning up behind themselves. So for me, being able to set the foundation for children to set them up for success as they get older, that's something that it's huge to me. And I love that I have a part into that with any kid that comes into my classroom or that I also interact with within the school.
yeah, I love that. And it might sound like these are basics or things that every child learns, but I think everyone has also gone through kindergarten, some of us preschool,
Yeah.
everyone in the US first grade, and like those, like you said, those are the years where we're like the biggest sponge. I think there's some studies that from even 3 to 5, 3 to 6 is like the biggest learning boost in our brain, and we're just picking up so much from our senses. So
Yeah.
and
Yes.
also like seeing how the teacher is, like you said, socially, the manners, the speech, how they're talking. Do you see at this age that uh, there are some negatives from like either bullying or other bad apples in schools? Like I'm sure you guys discussed this on like a district level, teacher, parent meetings and stuff like that. But what are some of the things put in place for those bad apples?
Yeah. So of course, I mean, honestly, at any grade level, you're gonna have some, as you said, bad apples. Because we never want to call kids the BAD word. But for things like that, we of course have counselors at all schools. Like our school, we have two counselors. We have a counselor for K through 2 and then a counselor for 3 through 5. And they're lovely. They come and help out students. They come and do small groups, like pull them to do small groups, and they even do one-on-one time, which is very, very helpful. And then also in my classroom, what I do, something individually, is I have a calm corner. And so that's something that I lay down the foundation for within the first few weeks of school. Just let them know, whether you're upset or you're feeling angry, or even if you're not really too sure about your emotions, that's a place that they can go and get up freely to go have a moment, try and reflect, figure out some things. I even have a little basket of like fidget toys in there just to kind of help them get their emotions together, calm down, and then they're able to come to me to come try and talk about it and figure out what's going on. So I think just being able to have different things in place like that from any grade level, it is a little bit more difficult at this age. And we were actually just talking, I think on Friday, during some staff meetings where we were saying, with the lower babies or younger kids, they have a hard time, expressing themselves and really being able to control their big emotions, is what we call it. And it's very understandable, and sometimes as adults, we also have trouble, trying to figure out our emotions and really express ourselves. So, I couldn't even imagine being a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old feeling all these different emotions and not really knowing how to tell the adult that's trying to help you. So I think just also setting up the relationship teacher to student for them to be able to feel comfortable, for them to be able to talk to you and know that you're there for them. And just even a simple hug. Sometimes kids just need a hug, and you get lots of hugs in kindergarten. So that makes them feel a lot better half of the time. But just knowing they have somebody there that's there for them, whether it's a teacher, the counselor, and then just having things set up in your classroom that's also a go-to spot or go-to things to help them with those emotions.
Yeah, that's really helpful, even for me. Like, I don't have that lens, that background, the boots on the ground where you see the interactions. We're kind of more behind the scenes, involved with the calm corners, the fidget toys, any way that we see that can help. But that's just really helpful to see the emotions that, and like you said, even as adults, like
Yeah.
sometimes I don't know how to vent when something is wrong in the real world. It's like
Mhm.
sometimes I feel like I just need a hug. So
Yeah.
I love how you're incorporating that with the kids. I I want to kind of go to another question. I don't know if um kindergarten is a little early for this, but I'll ask it. What do you think at this stage for kids, like you said, 5 to 6, 4, 4, 5, 6 years old, let's say, what are the 3 to 5 like foundational things that they have to know in order to be successful? Whether that's like successful to go into elementary school, middle school, high school, or even like how what do they need to have now in order to have a good, successful school career? Maybe that's a better way to put it.
Yeah, I definitely do feel like that applies to us. And once again, I feel like that kind of goes into that foundation that I was talking about a few minutes ago. Because at least for me personally in my classroom, and I'm sure this probably goes hand in hand with any lower elementary teacher, especially in kindergarten and pre-K ages, we're thinking about, okay, we have to teach them basic social skills, because some kids, they either never went to pre-K, so kindergarten is their first time being in school ever, or even if they did go to pre-K, there's so many things going on. Maybe they could have forgot over the summer, just basically, talking to someone, saying hi, or saying excuse me, just things like that. especially if it's possibly not being done at home, which is okay. But we have to then teach them, okay, if you're going to do this one way at home, that's fine. But when you're here in the school setting or here in a classroom setting, it's going to look a little bit differently because you're dealing with a lot of different people and not just your family. So basic social skills is a huge thing in my classroom that I teach them because we all have to interact with people our whole lives, whether that's your friends, whether it's your families, for a job, doing interviews to get a job. So basic social skills is always something that's very important to set them up for success. I would also say basic like listening skills is something that we're always talking about, because if you're not listening, you're probably not going to get the lesson, and then you're probably not going to be able to do an independent activity to show me that you understand what's going on. So just being able to have that attention that you need in school and setting that up at a young age, that way they can have it as they're getting older and going on into the upper grade levels as well, is going to set them up for success. And I do also think it kind of has to do with teacher too, having good like attention getters and making sure that your lessons are engaging. Just especially with the way the generations are now, like you're kind of having to almost put on a show for everything to make sure you have everyone's attention, which is okay, but we definitely have to be mindful of that, making sure we do have their attention. Um, let's see. And then I feel like just not necessarily like studying skills, but almost like a taking notes kind of thing, like writing skills. Um, that's something that I've actually found kind of interesting being in kindergarten because some schools it seems like they do it, like they're really heavy on it. And then some schools it's kind of like a little more laid back to where if the teacher can fit it in, then that's how it is. But to me, I'm thinking, well, if you're not getting writing done in kindergarten, which is teaching you the basic writing skills and how you write with, spaces in between your words, starting with an uppercase letter, having a punctuation mark at the end of your sentence. If we don't teach them that in kindergarten and they go in the first grade and so on, they're going to struggle. They're not going to be able to write, full on sentences. And that kind of ties into with the reading skills that we're teaching them to set them up for success. So, there's just a lot of different things that almost become like a ripple effect, I feel like, in kindergarten, because there's just a lot of stuff that ends up tying into one another to set them up for success.
Yeah, this is so fascinating. My brain's going in so many directions that I wish I could have like hours just to talk and learn.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, on the writing, note taking side, I'm even today I'm doing that. Like because there's so much information, especially like you said nowadays. Like it's like it feels like things go in one ear and then out. If I don't write it down and then go back and just understand, like
Yeah.
even this conversation, as simple as it is, just knowing each other, trying to put a lens of like how does it operate in a
Yeah.
kindergarten in Georgia. Just try. I want to know when I go back to this, like, okay, these are the points. Um,
Mhm.
so you said social skills, listening skills, and writing, however way that gets integrated, even
Mhm.
if it's short, how to spell. Do all the kids, or is there like a requirement that they have to know writing after they finish kindergarten, or does that kind of go into first grade?
So it is within our like progress monitoring for them. And we do take grades for it, but of course, like kindergarten grades are just letter grades. It's not like number grades. It definitely is though something that we take into account for because every student should leave kindergarten being able to write their name. That's something that we work on within the first few weeks. Most kids will come in being able to, if they have pre-K experience or just if families are working on it at home, and you have some that comes in and they learn it with you, which is fine because that's what we're here to do those first few weeks is the basic things like that. So yeah, writing is definitely very important because like I said, I guess depending on your school, it's going to be pushed in any way you can, or it's going to be a top priority to where you actually have a section to be teaching writing, and then being able to practice it very frequently throughout the week. And so, like I said, for us, just practicing the basic skills and the basic knowledge of how our sentences are supposed to be formatted, and also how we format our letters, because now that they are learn that their letters and they learn their letter sounds, now we're working on writing basic letter formation. Because if you don't have that down, then you're probably going to write a B like a D if you don't know how to write the B correctly. So
Yeah,
yeah.
English is a fascinating language. I remember
Uh,
we immigrated from Iran. I was 7 when we left. So this is like from I didn't do first grade here, but did second grade. And I don't know how I learned. Obviously, like teachers just like pouring. I would stay late after school and just practice. And then on the playground, however way people would make fun of me, but we would try to just talk. And then obviously we learned. But even today, like I look at some of the lettering and grammar, I'm like, how is this like a word? How is it structured like this? It is complicated, and I
yeah.
commend you guys. I respect you so much for like pouring that out into children and just committing like letter at a time, phonetically how to say it. And I think a lot of it is just them doing it, like having fun with it, like you said with the games. And
Yeah.
it just comes one way or another.
Yes.
Well, this has been fascinating. I maybe what I want to do since you said you have a calm corner and you guys have some fidget toys. I would love to send you some. So we have a bunch of like fidget toys. We create like fidget boxes for our
Oh,
teachers or our educators. So maybe on Instagram, if you have your address, I would love to ship. And we actually have like a plush toy when it's happy and sad. I'll also send a few of those. But yeah, just would love to like stay connected, whatever way we can support,
yes.
kind of behind the scenes. I'm always up for that. I guess the last question: how can people connect with you, or where can they find you if they have more questions and just want to know more about you?
Yes. So I am on Instagram. Same way that you guys found me. My teacher Instagram page is Miss A. I think it's underscore Tiny Tots. Maybe I can send it, or will you be able to link it
Yeah,
somewhere?
I
I
have
guess.
it. I have it. I can link it.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so that's the best way to contact me. I'm up there often. I check my messages, I check comments. Yeah, because I love being able to interact with teachers, learning from other teachers. Like I said, as I tell my kids, even though I'm teaching them, I'm always still learning to you. So I love being able to connect with others, talk to them about their experiences, see where I can learn and take things from, and vice versa.
Amazing. Love it. Yeah, I'll definitely link all of that in the description below. It's a pleasure chatting with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully we can do this again. I want to kind of go like different topics and maybe focus in, or maybe there can be like multiple teachers from
Yeah.
regarding different states. I'm new to this podcast world, and I'm just trying to connect and get as many teachers that have like a passion for this as possible. And again, selfishly learn as well. But I would love to have like multiple people on here and kind of learning from each other.
Yes, well, I appreciate this opportunity so much, and thank you as well for wanting to send the fidget toys. My kids will love that because that's one of their favorite things about going to the calm corners. Being able to use those emotions, but channeling them into the toys that's over there. So that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Awesome. Thank you. Chat soon.
Yes, thank you.